It's Monday, May 4th, and you're watching the Hammer Daily here on the Hammer Betting Network, presented by our good friends over at FanDuel. I'm your host, Jason Cooper, and oh my goodness, what an absolute sweat of a morning it was today. If we had the cameras on in studio live while we were preparing for the show, you guys would have been panicking along with us. Cameras weren't working, mics weren't working, but we're ready. We're good to go now. Everything seems to be working, but we might deal with some tech issues throughout the show, so just be aware of that. Appreciate you guys tuning in live today. I'm excited to get into a great show. Of course, this would happen when we have our round 2 props extravaganza. We got tons of guests coming on, 5 different guests. We have Pips batting leadoff. We got Alex Moretto after that. Mr. Peanut Bettor, Dom, and then Kirk Evans close the show. 5 solid guests, all giving out some picks for tonight, some series bets, and maybe we'll find something else we like a little bit more. Before we get into things, I wanted to just go off on Jaylen Brown for being an absolute effing loser. Like going live on your Twitch live stream an hour after you get eliminated as like minus 1,000 favorites, complaining about the refereeing. Big loser energy. That sucks. Was going to go on a tirade about that, but anyways, can't do that because we are behind. We got circled back live at 1 p.m. Eastern time. So before we get into things, do us a huge favor, smash the like button, and let's get into today's show. Our first guest here, co-founder of Props Madness, Prop Bettor. Excited to have him on the show. PipsNBA. Pips, how's it going?
Hey, man. Hello, everyone. Going well. It's not great as a Rockets fan, but yeah.
As a bettor, things are going great. As a fan, things aren't going so hot. I know you're a Rockets fan. I know you're like, I don't want to say like you're like a mini Hawks fan. Can we call you that? Like a kind of like you like the Hawks, right? Tough round 1 for you. What went wrong for both teams? And Kevin Durant, legacy tarnished? Talk me through this.
I mean, rough to be tarnished when he didn't even play. So that's one of the issues. I'll first say on the Rockets, obviously Udoka got outplayed massively by JJ, outcoached. So yeah, JJ Redick played to their strengths and limited everything we are good at. On the other side, Udoka complete failure of utilizing your strengths, and on the other side, issues with. But yeah, the series when decided that huge choke from my Rockets in Game 3 when they were up big late and then thrown the ball to LeBron twice, and yeah, so inexperience from some young guys. They ended up playing Rich Shepard big minutes in the playoffs, which is good decision, but then you didn't play him throughout the season. You didn't get him minutes. You didn't get him reps, so he could be ready for a big spot like that. So yeah, rough one. Team without shooting. Team without When you play in the playoffs and you have like 5 players on the court and 3 can be completely ignored behind the 3-point line, you'll have a rough time. And especially without KD, who is great player, but when teams decide to double him like JJ did last 4 times they played, he sucks at playing against double teams when he is the one handling the ball and starting your offense. That's not the role he thrives in. So yeah, great stuff by JJ Redick, great stuff by LeBron. Some guys stood up like Smart, great series for him. Kennard flamed first 3 to 4 games. So yeah, big shout out to them, and that's it.
Yeah, they now get the pleasure and the privilege and the prize of winning in the first round, only to get steamrolled by OKC, which is most likely to happen in the second round.
Unfortunately, they don't have enough firepower for that series. But if Luka was healthy, I will definitely be enjoying that series, looking at how JJ Redick prepares his team and how he. Yeah, I just love JJ as a coach. So there is that.
Lakers right now 14-1 against the OKC, not to win the championship, but just to win in round 2. Let's get into some picks for tonight. You have one play for us here that you wanted to discuss. So we're a little tight on time, so I'll let you go. Who do you like tonight and why?
First off, Jalen Duren against just by low spot against the Cleveland Cavaliers. Last 2 games against them. He had great numbers in the regular season in February and March. So over the last 2 games, he had 16 rebounds and then had 14 rebounds on 30 rebounding chances. He didn't even convert well, and he still ended up averaging 15 rebounds in 34 minutes or last 2 games against the Cleveland Cavaliers. And on the same time, he averaged 28 points. So 28 and 15 over the last 2 games against the Cleveland Cavaliers. And I think this is like a prime start, buy low, double on Jalen Duren. I think minus 115 is currently number. I got it minus 105 like a couple of hours earlier. But I think this is good, up to minus 120 easily. In the regular season, this will be like minus 180, minus 190. Now he had horrible series in a really tough matchup for him. Like around the Magic are doing great stuff, preventing him from scoring, for getting rebounds, and now he gets to a series where I do expect Cleveland Cavaliers to miss a bunch of shots and to remain in the lower efficiency against the defensive Pistons. So there will be plenty of rebounding chances for Durant. As I said, last 2 games, 30 rebounding chances, 15 rebounds. I definitely think he can get double digit here. And yeah, that's it on this side. Just buy low. He started I'll just read some numbers against the Orlando Magic series, double numbers. So first game, he had just looking at double second. He had close minus 230. Then next game minus 185. Then minus 130, minus 140. So he was closing much worse, much like worse number than this throughout the entire series against the Orlando Magic. The only time he didn't close at my worst price was plus 105 last game of the series, and then he covers. He has the best game of the series, and I think against the Cleveland Cavaliers, much better matchup, much better stuff for Duran, and I think this is a no-brainer bet. I think by game 3, game 4, this would be minus 160 range.
Yeah, no, it's been moving out. It's like 135. It's 125 on FanDuel. There's a 110 out there. Obviously, we preach shopping around here for Jalen Duren. Double with an easier matchup versus the Cavaliers than the...
I also must say, like last Extravaganza, I had Jaden McDaniels over 14.5 and said, we are betting this before it moves to 17.5 by game 3, and that's exactly what happened. And yeah, Jaden crashed the line in the first one and continued doing insane series. Like that was big aura series for him. Yeah, I love Jaden McDaniels.
Not only in the series, but with the interviews after the game, calling out players name by name, saying they're not good enough to defend us. We can defend them. That is like the most nails thing of all time. Pips, before you head out here, I got a couple more questions. Any bets you like for the round 2 series? Anything you're looking at, futures, or even, hey, you're looking at to win the championship, to win the East, to win the West? Anything you like that's out there right now?
We had Cavs in the series in the round 1 as the winner of the East. I still like that. But we are betting Cleveland to win the series against the Pistons at plus 100. I don't see Pistons being the favorites in this one. I definitely have it on Cavs side, probably 55 to 45, maybe even a bit higher. Ton of problems for Pistons in this series, especially on the offensive side of the ball. Can see Mobley like roaming off Ausar Thompson and then doing a ton of damage on defensive side. They will do much better job against the Cade, though I think Durant will have a better series, but they'll do much better job on everyone else. And on the other side, I think compared to the Orlando Magic, who are horrible, the Cleveland Cavaliers had such a huge amount of offensive power compared to the Orlando Magic. And on the defensive side, I think they are on par. So, huge struggle for Cleveland Cavaliers in this, for the Pistons in this series. I'm taking plus 100 or better for Cleveland Cavaliers to win against the Pistons.
Yes. Cavs right now plus 102 on FanDuel. Again, when you sent me that price, a little shocked. Like Pistons, it seems like the Pistons got upgraded or the Cavs got downgraded, which seems a little odd to me. But yeah, odds are plus 102. We'll take that any day of the week. Before you head out here, Pips, final thoughts. What was your biggest takeaway from round one? Anything that surprised you? Anything that you're looking at for the next round? Just your biggest takeaway from round one.
Big physical teams, big guys like Raptors, like the guys that hustle, that play hard, that have the size, are the new meta in the NBA. Huge volume 3-point shooting is going away, so definitely like that one.
All right, we got more traditional. We got 90s basketball nowadays, which should be a lot of fun. That and the low-waist jeans, so many 90s things are coming back. Pips, appreciate you joining the show. We'll chat soon. You can follow Pips on Twitter at PipsNBA. Also, check out his YouTube channel, PipsNBA. Just search PipsNBA on YouTube. You'll find it. I'll actually drop it in the chat. Shout out, Pips. Pips, appreciate you. Let's get on to our next guest here. Before we do that, though, quickly, just want to give a shout out to our good friends over at FanDuel because it's the postseason, and it's all about boosts over on FanDuel because game day means your chance to boost your bet and make every play pay off. That's right. All customers get a profit boost tonight, so every bucket counts a little bit more. The pace is fast. The games never stop. And with FanDuel, you got more ways to make every win even bigger. Lock in your bets, boost your odds, and make every night count with FanDuel, an official sports betting partner of the NBA. Head over to FanDuel.com/forward progress to get started. It must be 21 plus and present in select states for Kansas and affiliates Kansas Dark Casino, 18 plus and present in DC, Kentucky, or Wyoming. Opt-in required. Bonus issues not withdrawable profit boost token. Gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER. Visit FanDuel.com/RG. Call 1-888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org/Chat in Connecticut or visit mdgamblinghelp.org in Maryland. Hope is here. Visit gamblinghelplinema.org or call 1-800-227-5050 for 24/7 support in Massachusetts or call 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY in New York. All right. Second guest. Someone who's probably very happy. A man who wears many hats, but it seems like no hats today because look at him. He's feeling fresh, looking fresh, got a haircut, probably had sex last night after a big series win. The biggest Habs fan on this network, Alex Moretto. How's it going?
It's a great day. It's a great day, Jason. Happy to be here. Just like the best Monday of the year so far. Just buzzing today. Absolutely buzzing.
Well, it's you might be buzzing. I'm not. I had to sleep on the couch here. The Lightning series prices did not come through. That's obviously a joke, but they did not come through for me. Kudos to Montreal. They played a lot better than I think people expected in that series. They look good. So have the floor. Say whatever you want about the Montreal Canadiens beating Tampa.
I don't even know what to say. I mean, like there was a lot of talk last night about, I saw Rob's tweet and a lot of Leafs fans on Twitter and in the group chats that refused to give the Habs their flowers because they won with 9 shots. Obviously, you know what? Like, that's fair. They won with 9 shots. It was really one period at the end of the day. Like first period and third period, if you take out that second period, the first and third period shot attempts were even at 5-on-5 and even overall.
Wait,
so like realistically,
take away the period they didn't get a single shot, and it's going to be tied.
Yes. Well, I'm getting to that. So the period they didn't get a single shot was obviously horrific. That was a travesty to the sport. Very, very embarrassing period of hockey. Obviously, that's like a naive hockey team that gets a lead in a big Game 7 on the road, comes out there and like mistakenly thinks that they can just defend a 1-0 lead for 40 minutes. Obviously, that's not going to happen. Kind of a good thing that I think Tampa scored when they did, which forced them to sort of get out of that shell a little bit quicker and then get into that third period. Like, okay, we're not going to the third period up a goal. We have to kind of, shake things up, get back. And I thought they responded really well, honestly, in the third. Like they did what they did all series, which every time they were punched in the mouth, they kind of were able to fight back pretty quickly. We saw it in Game 1 when they were up 1-0, and then Tampa scored those 2 quick goals, and Montreal responded and won that game. And then, the same thing where, in Game 5, James ties the game, and then Doc scores like 17 seconds later. So they were pretty consistently able to respond in these moments. And I'll be the first to admit, like, as someone who's watched every single minute of Habs hockey all season, like, I was surprised by just how well they matched up with Tampa. This is a Tampa team that obviously we've talked up on the show so much. And I really, you watch all 7 games, and I know what the shots looked like yesterday, but I mean, there's a strong case to be made that the Habs should have won this before Game 7 anyways. So I think they deserve their flowers. This wasn't like Dobish came in there and just stole the series a la Halak in like 2010. I think they were very much deserving of going through to the second round. And so is Tampa. Honestly, it kind of sucks that one of these teams has to be out in round one, but that's just the way the format is. And I'm happy it was them and not us.
Yeah, no, kudos to the Montreal Canadiens. I forget who it was. Someone on Twitter mentioning they've been first all year in board battles won. I think that's
Mike
what
Kelly
it was.
from Sports Logic.
Yes, yeah, which is
and just puck battles. Puck battles
won. There we go. Which is.
Yeah.
You saw it in the way that they played against Tampa, and I think that's maybe part of the blind spot in most public models is that they don't have access to that those numbers. So that's probably what you're
totally.
not.
And that's why I think I'm really happy for a guy like Hudson, who I think the world got to kind of see just how good he really is. Like there's a lot of Hudson like incredible with the puck, whatever. Like defensively not very good. He's elite defensively. Yeah. Like he is very much elite defensively. This is not like. Well, I'm not just Quinn Hughes is elite too, but like Quinn Hughes was like really bad early on in his career defensively. And some guys like Hudson is not that. He maybe struggled for like the first 2 months of his rookie season. This guy is like his compete is off the charts, and the way he's able to just like he's small, but the way he's able to use his body to win pucks and like, create takeaways is just like it's crazy. He is a top 3 defenseman in the NHL. I don't feel like that's outrageous to say at this point.
I don't know if top 3, top 5. I think I would be like a little bit better saying, but he's like exactly how I would like to build a defenseman, where he's incredibly offensive, can defend the rush really well, and can collect pucks along the boards and promote the puck, which is like what you need to do in the modern day NHL as a defenseman, and that's how you get elite defenseman. Anyways, enough glazing of the Habs. We did it for 5 minutes, so there goes half your segment. Let's talk about your favorite bet. You want to start favorite bet for tonight or favorite round 2 favorite series bet for round 2? I'll let you pick.
Let's go round 2, and then it'll somewhat tie into tonight's bet a little bit. My favorite round 2 bet right now is Vegas. Not on the series price, because I think that's kind of run a bit. Where I think it hasn't been priced in properly so far is especially on FanDuel. Total games under 5.5. Right now you can get that on FanDuel at plus 176, which is I would say a little bit off market, but it not totally off market. Very, very good number though. I like that quite a bit. Look, like the Ducks are just being a little bit overvalued here with coming into the series, beating an Edmonton team that they were not expected to beat whatsoever. But like McDavid fractured ankle, Draisaitl was off over a month before coming back in game 1. Some massive regression for the Oilers defensively. Vegas is a much better puck possession team. Knights should really dominate 5-on-5. Anaheim was also carried by the power play in round 1, right? They were 8 for 16, 50%. That's fucking obscene. Like you literally just don't see that. Utah, who had like a considerably better power play all season, they were completely shut down by Vegas on the power play in round 1, just 6.3%. And just a much better penalty kill, like just a much better all around defensive team in Vegas that it's just a nightmare matchup for Anaheim. So I did play a lot of Vegas series stuff. We're looking at minus 200 though. This opened like minus 170. It's kind of run. I don't love that now. I do think plus money minus 1.5 is good. Which is available on FanDuel as well, but I prefer the under 5.5 plus 176 because I think there's a very, very real pathway to this ending sooner than later. I would put this at around like just shy of 50%, like 47, 48%, which is, we're getting plus 176. So I think there's obviously considerable edge there. It's already moved to like plus 140 on some spots. So definitely bet this FanDuel number. I think this is a bad matchup for Anaheim. A really decent spot for Vegas to kind of get out with a comfortable win and focus on a much tougher task in the conference final.
Completely different team they're facing in Vegas compared to what the stylistic matchup they saw in Edmonton. Let me guess your prop or your pick for tonight. It's obviously going to be in the Vegas Anaheim game. Is it the under 6.5 minus 110?
Yeah, it is. And I would wait a little bit because I still think there's probably some more over money to come. Right now, there's a minus 105 that's already popped. There's minus 108 at a couple spots. I'm happy playing minus 105. I'm happy playing minus 108. Minus 110 is even good. I think there's potential for this to get better. I don't think it gets worse, though, so I don't think there's any harm in waiting. It's, again, an inflated total. This obviously opened lower. There's been nothing but over money. We saw that in round 1 with Anaheim, too. Again, I don't think I know Anaheim games can get silly, but I don't think they can do nearly enough at 5-on-5 to justify these high totals. Vegas obviously has some goaltending concerns, but like very strong penalty kill. It does not make any sense for them to get into a back and forth game with the Ducks. That's basically the only chance the Ducks have of winning this series. And like Vegas should have no issues forwarding that. So I really do like I like this under here. And yeah, I think Vegas can kind of comfortably take care of things all series. I also like Vegas 4-1 exact series price at plus 420. I think that's a good number. That's like a 18% implied probability. I think that's a bit too low.
All right, Alex, before you head out, I wanted you to take a look at some series points head-to-head, which is just player points head-to-head. They also have player spreads, so if you want like Eichel versus Gauthier, -1.5, -144, you can get that as well. They have combined goals, Mitch Marner, Leo Carlson combined total 10.5. Anything you got, just shout them out quickly for us here.
Yeah, my favorite one would be Carlson over Marner. Carlson plus 118. I know I just hyped up Vegas for 10 minutes and now I'm talking about Carlson. But Carlson, like everything runs through him on this team. Vegas' scoring is a lot more spread out. They don't necessarily, I know Marner had 7 points in 6 games in the first round. Carlson still topped that anyways, but it's just a lot more spread out for Vegas. Carlson is like, he is the number one. He's the best player on this team, and he's going to log a ton of minutes, especially if they're playing from behind. So I like Carlson quite a bit in this matchup. You're getting plus 118. I think he should be a small favorite.
All right, Carlson should be a small favorite there with Mitch Marner. It seems like the series is only going to go 5 games, so no Game 6, Game 7 Marner. So it seems like Carlson has a chance there because we know how good he is in Game 7. Alex, appreciate you joining the show. You can follow Alex on Twitter at Alex J. Moretto. He'll be on later in the week as well. Alex, we'll chat soon.
Yeah.
Great stuff there from Alex as always. Let's keep the train rolling. We're firing on all cylinders. Things are super efficient. Apologies to the chat. I haven't gotten around to it to you guys. If there's any questions, please feel free to drop them in there. Mike will flag them for me if I miss anything. Up next, we got one of the biggest dogs on the network, Mr. Peanut Bettor. Guy who's the worst tier list maker in the world. Peanut, how's it going?
I thought that those tiers were undeniably good. I've just received tons of praise on the escape room one. And the speed one, I've never seen anybody run. Yet I was able to call Kirk sneaky slow. I was able to call, quite a few different like sneaky choices. So I thought, honestly, A+ out of me on the tier. If we were making tiers of who makes the best tiers, I would be number one.
Okay. That is so confusing. I have 2 issues with this. Number one, you have me too low in the first tier list. If we can bring it up on screen here. The speed tier list, I am far and away ahead.
You're first. You can't be lower.
Okay. But
you are first.
I should be in my own tier.
You can't be, you're in the right spot.
Either I'm in the right spot or Isaac's in the wrong spot. You can pick.
Yep, you're right. I thought he might be sneaky fast. That was one I got wrong. I'd never seen him run. He said he played tennis. So your one argument is that you're slightly like in the same tier as someone that shouldn't be in your same tier, but you're in the right spot. So I don't want to hear it.
Okay, all right. Well, what about the next one? Can we pull up the next one here, Mike? You had me as the last overall in the. First of all, how'd you come up with this? What is this? The escape room tier list?
Yeah. How did I come up with it? I don't know.
Why escape room?
Vibes. I don't know. I drove by one the other day. I was thinking who would be good at it and who won it. And you obviously are so far last that, there's a reason we had to put a gap between you and everybody else.
All right. I think we're going to have to try one out if we're ever in the same area together and so you can finish one faster because this is just objectively wrong. Or if you flip your head upside down, it's correct. Anyways, let's get into
the fact you don't know you're bad is what makes you even worse because you would get in the way of the true people who are good at it.
All right. That's what you say. We're going to have to do a live reaction, live recording of us in an escape room then. Let's get into today's show though. Let's get into the bets we have. Your Cavs squeaked one out against our Raptors. I guess they're my Cavs too because I have so many futures on them. But how are you feeling after that? They're currently underdogs right now against the Detroit Pistons. Is that going to be your favorite series bet? Give me your favorite round 2 series bet, and then give me your reaction to how the Cavs ended up in the position they're in right now.
I'll start with the Cavs. So not great feeling about the Cavs. The Raptors weren't particularly impressive during the season. They weren't. I think that they kind of got like a bad rap on how their season was. Noah Manuel quickly. Brandon Ingram gets hurt halfway through. That's just not that formidable of an opponent to take you to 7. I do think Cleveland probably outplayed that series, better than like what the final score indicates. They kind of blew 2 games down the stretch, which is actually, becoming an issue as you see them. They really struggle with ball pressure. The good news for Cleveland is, to me, that was probably a pretty tough matchup in terms of Toronto just can switch everything and mucks everything up, and they're really physical at the ball. And to me, that was a tougher matchup than Detroit, who plays a little more conventional pick and roll with Cleveland's two bigs. They're able to kind of run some different high-low actions, able to let James Harden, when James Harden is in a conventional pick and roll, he does much better than when a team switches. So to me, I think that like matchup-wise, you're feeling better if you're Cleveland, kind of getting back to a traditional opponent. That being said, you still can't feel good having that take as long as it did to be the Toronto team that, you should have been better than, as far as talent on the court by significant margin. Luckily, the Pistons struggled with a team that, is similarly, let's say, lacking shot creation. So both teams are coming in struggling. I think Cleveland is a particularly good matchup for Detroit, but, certainly what you saw in round one wasn't promising.
Yeah, it's such an odd thing here. The favorite to win the East gets eliminated in round one. Cavs, the second favorite on pre round one, and for some reason, the Cavs moved back. Like their odds are now worse, which is like so backwards when you think about it. But obviously, the market in general sentiment around this Cavs team is down. What's your favorite round two series bet?
I like OKC to sweep versus the Lakers. Right now, my numbers make it basically a pick, and it's going off at plus 120 at most places. Last I checked, that was also available at FanDuel. So, I think that OKC, I don't know if they're pricing it from the final series amount, and they're like, going with this is what the final series is and getting back to game 4, and then they're not adjusting for Luka properly coming back. If they think there's a little bit more, zigzag in there, I don't know. My numbers show it as a pick. It's going off around plus 120, so I think that there's decent value there. And if anything, I think that Jalen Williams is more likely to return than Luka. And right now, I have it running with him not in there at all. So I'm going to say a sweep for OKC right now should be going off at about even money.
It's never really a good idea when you fade the GOAT, but also this OKC team is literally generational. OKC either minus 3.5 or series sweep 4-0 plus 120. Both priced at plus 120 at FanDuel. Any bets for tonight's games?
Yeah, I like Mitchell Robinson, all points and rebounds over. I think that he's going to get an increase in playing time here as they try to stop Embiid. He's one of the players that they put on Embiid. Cat, pretty notorious for foul trouble, so you have the option of Cat getting in foul trouble, and he has to play a lot of minutes that way. I also think they're just going to run out a bunch of the double big look in order to kind of take that burden off of Cat so he doesn't have to match up with Embiid. Obviously Mitchell Robinson and Embiid got into that scuffle a few years ago. So, not that you need motivation during playoff times, but I just think that like Mitchell Robinson is a tough guy to play with. And if you're facing Embiid for 7 series, I want to kind of wear him down over the course of this series as much as I can by throwing big body after big body on him. And I'm just going to play Mitchell Robinson more than he's played so far versus like Atlanta. And he also has had a couple of the games he had some issues with. One, he got suspended last game or got ejected after a fight and has had some foul issues, some injury stuff, or not injury, some foul trouble, stuff like that. So I think that his minutes have been kind of artificially reduced in the first round. Plus you're facing a team where they're going to want to play him more. So I would try to look at the plus money alts just based on there is some worry of they start to do Haka and he gets pulled from the game. But just in general, I think the chance that he plays a decent amount of minutes and kind of racks up the points and rebounds is pretty high.
Yeah, you can get him at 5+ points is minus 122 on FanDuel. 10 plus is plus 500 for just points. No combos there for him, but we'll probably be there what's wrong?
There should be combos, points and rebounds.
It's not listed on FanDuel. Not a company man, but it's okay.
Oh, well, you got to look at points and rebounds, not PRA, buddy, because it's available at FanDuel 12.5 minus 108.
No, you said the alts though, not just the regular line.
Oh, the alts. You're right.
This freaking guy, he's like, come here preaching the alts, then he cites the regular line. You'll probably get alts closer to the game for that though, so keep an eye out there. But if you want just points, you can get some plus 500 on 10+ points from Mitchell Robinson. Peanut, appreciate you joining the show. Before you head out here, do us a huge favor. Give us your biggest takeaway from round one. From Pips, he said bigs are back. 90s ball is back. The 3-point is dead. What's your biggest takeaway from round one?
Foul trouble starting to matter again. It seems like every game I watch, there's teams in foul trouble. And two, I'll say this: depth matters more than it has in the past few years. Right now, we're seeing like teams. One, foul trouble is a thing. Two, you're seeing like these teams just play press style defense for 35 minutes. It seems like we kind of went away from depth. It was all about who your closing five was when we had the Warriors come up. Now, starting with the Thunder, who are just kind of playing hacka, just pressing the square button, hammering you over and over again, going to throw fresh bodies at you. Now you both have to have fresh bodies to stay fresh. And if you want to play that pressing style, you're going to have guys in foul trouble. You got to have bodies for that. So I would say depth is back in the NBA along with the bigs.
All right, depth is back in the NBA. Peanut, appreciate you joining the show. Maybe you can take some time, reflect, think about your tier list, and maybe do a better job on the next one. Peanut, we'll chat soon. Great stuff there.
See ya.
You can follow Mr. Peanut Bettor on Twitter at peanut_better. Appreciate him and all he does coming on the show. All right, let's keep the train rolling. Fourth guest, you know him. You've seen him on the show quite a bit here. He's a writer over at The Athletic, Dom Luszczyszyn. Dom, how's it going?
Pretty good. All things considered, after my only play of the playoffs is done. It's over. One future gone. Well, there's one future left, and that one improved because Tampa Bay is out.
Mm-hmm.
But we'll get to that, I'm sure.
All right, I'm excited to get to that. But hey, if you lose one bet, guess what? You can just make another one. So there's an opportunity to come back in. I see you wearing a Toronto Blue Jays hat. I wanted to start with Toronto, not the Blue Jays. I wanted to start with the painful team that is like the bane of my existence, the bane of our existence living in Toronto here. Leafs, Sundin, Chaika, official. Made it official last night, Sunday night, which timing is so weird on a Sunday night to do that, as it was like being reported all week that it was basically done. Sounds like Ty Domi's like behind the strings, the puppet master, pulling everything. What the heck is going on, man? Like, how do we react to this?
I don't know. I want deep in my heart to be Leaf, but the last 2 years, last year has made it very difficult to believe. And Keith Pelly said it was the most important search of his job here, and I don't know how it ended up here. It feels like Sundin is a sort of like jinkling keys in front of a baby. It's like, ooh, look, it's Sundin. He's back. He's gonna bring us back to the glory years of losing in the second round instead of the first round. And I hope that works. I hope he brings some legitimacy to the team. I don't know a lot about John Chaika. I don't love what he did in Arizona, but Arizona's a tough place. He's going to have more resources here. It is a little daunting how many people from all spectrums of hockey, whether that is the traditionalists, the eye test people, the other analytics people, no one seems to think as highly of him as you'd think for someone who just named the GM of the Maple Leafs. And he does fit the bill of what Keith Pelly was looking for in terms of someone who's data-centric, but it is hard to gauge what he does with that data when the proof of concept in Arizona didn't go super well. And before that, a lot of it was behind the curtains, black box stuff that without like the peer review process, like I remember in those early days, there was a lot of warnings about that kind of stuff. And the thought of teams getting taken to the cleaners by snake oil. And I don't know, Chaika, I'm not sure if that is what it is. I am sure he's a very bright guy. But when a lot of other smart people are making a claim similar to that, it is risky, to say the least. And it does make you feel that the guy in charge right now, Keith Pelly, might have been taking the cleaners if that's the case. And that is a tough, precarious thing, given where the Leafs are in their trajectory right now where you need someone very smart and very, very creative to get them back on track. And that could be Cheka, or it could be the end of a very disappointing era.
Yeah, very dark, sad times are ahead of us here. Maybe we'll see. The biggest thing, I talk with my friends about this. The biggest thing for Cheka's success, for him to succeed here, is just be a good aggregator. Like, just kind of, you have so many tools and resources at your disposal. He's like, just aggregate well. Listen to other people. I've never, the internet does not radicalize me at all. But when I was reading Steve Simmons' article, I was getting a little bit radicalized there when I saw the 7 different screens and only one of them was actually working. I hope that's not true. I
don't know about that claim. There was a photo posted of Cheka with 2 screens, a normal amount.
Okay, there we go.
So wouldn't be the first time that something was sensationalized. I think the smoking gun would have been some hot dogs on Cheka's desk. It's okay to hope. It's okay to be skeptical. We don't know. Cheka was 26 when he became GM of the Coyotes. I was a dumbass when I was 26. I look back at what I was doing when I was 26, and I look at where I am now 6 or 7 years later. I forgot how old I am. And I'm a lot better at my job. And I think a lot of people can say the same. And for him, that was a decade ago. You can hope he's grown. You can hope he's learned. The first litmus test will be whether he gets rid of Craig Berube.
Yeah.
And I think some of the quotes from, I think, Pelly were alarming, saying that'll have to go, a big decision that'll have to go to the board. And I don't know if I was here or a different podcast where I said the fact that Mike Gillis isn't a front runner, to me, speaks there'll be a lot of board meddling, because he is very get your hands off my process kind of vibe. And Cheka, one of the concerns in Arizona was that I don't want to say puppet, but he was at the whims of ownership. And I think the Leafs need someone who makes sure Pelly's hands aren't in the cookie jar. No Gillis and Cheka is scary. And I think the Berube decision will be the one that tells us where this thing is going, because there might not be a more obvious solution to a lot of the Leafs' problems than the coach they very obviously quit on multiple times last year.
Yeah. I think the scary thing, though, is like, obviously not correlated, but like the more times you fire a head coach, the less likely you are to stick around as GM. You only have so many fires, and the hopper is the same, but that's just mostly because of the dollar amount that you're going to be spending on it. Can you justify it to the board? Anyways, let's get into the rest of the show here today. I want to talk about some of your series prices, because I'm just thinking about the draft lottery, which is going to be tomorrow, and I don't even know if I'm mentally prepared for that. Round 2, do you have a favorite series bet out there right now?
As usual, I have very few bets, mostly on market, but I do have one. It is Vegas. It is Vegas -1.5. I was very impressed by the Ducks against the Oilers, and I was pretty close to market. I was definitely leading Edmonton, but like I ended up on -1.5 for a little bit, just because I did think it would be a bit closer. And also Alex Moretto was in my ear saying, "Oh, this is a steal. This is a steal." So screw that guy. No, I did have a little edge on that. I have a bigger one now. I think the market has moved a little too much in Anaheim's direction. Vegas is a much deeper team. Their goalie also stinks, but they have maybe not the same star power as Edmonton, obviously, but they have some very exceptional players up top. Playoff Mitch, apparently, lights are dimmer in Vegas, so he's a star in Game 6. That was honestly, it was great to see him actually deliver in that way, even though it shatters my personal feelings. Like it sucks from this end, but good for him. Defense, way better on the Vegas side. I think their record obfuscated like how good the team actually is. They control the puck really well, and I think they're peaking at the right time under Tortorella. I think that should be a lot closer to what like Edmonton ended up. So it was like, I think -220 or 230 or something. And I think the mark's like minus 200 right now. So I do like that. That is probably my only bet for series. Everything else looks pretty close. I think I'm like 50-50 for Buffalo Montreal.
All right. Yeah, Vegas minus 205 right now in their series. 1.5 minus 148 for them to, minus 1.5 in their series price. Before you head out, any futures you like or any bets for the games tonight? Or if you have nothing, what's your reaction to last night's Montreal-Colorado game? Are we going to see 12, 20 goals in every game for the rest of the series?
I hope so. That was pretty awesome. So Vegas plays tonight, so I like them in game one. I haven't really had any other bet. It was pretty much on market for all the totals that have happened so far, all the games that have happened so far. I like that. I was watching the Raptors lose, another Toronto sports moment, and I keep seeing all these goals happen. I'm like, I guess I missed the offense. And then I tuned in like halfway through the game, and I did not miss any offense. It just kept rolling and rolling. Awesome series. I hope it continues. It was really funny that Colorado won with 9 goals and Montreal won with 9 shots. I've never seen a more baffling win in my life. Can you I think it was Pizzola who tweeted, can you imagine the Leafs playing that game? How much they get smoked?
Oh, yeah. I was like, I come into the office right now. I mentioned to Rob, I said, if we had even half of those bounces that they got in game 7, once in the playoffs of the last 9 years, we would have a cup by now. But no, we can't get a bounce to save our lives. And now we got Matt Sundin as our VP of whatever he's doing. So that's pretty painful. Before you head out here, last thing, any big takeaways from round one? Anything that made you, I don't want to say shifted your perspective, but just any opinions changing or just reactions to round one in general?
I think the Carolina Hurricanes are going to go 12-4 this year. I think it's going to be 4 sweeps, and it's going to be sick.
I love it.
That's my tip.
I love it. That's going to be a fun one. Dom, appreciate you joining the show. Good luck to the both of us tomorrow. Hopefully we can squeeze into the top 5. And appreciate you joining the show.
God, hopefully. Thanks for having me.
Awesome stuff there. You can follow Dom on Twitter at Dom Luszczyszyn. Link is in the description, or you just type in LUSCZYSZYN. That's how you spell his last name. Have it written down every time just in case. All right. This has been a great show so far. If you've been enjoying it, do us a favor, smash the like button. If you're new to the channel as well, hit the subscribe button. We got another extravaganza coming to you guys tomorrow. And you're going to be shocked at who the first guest is. So you guys are going to want to tune in. And there might be some fireworks going on. He's a good friend. I would say he's a good friend of Kirk Evans. I actually don't even know how close they are. But maybe Diego Pavia could give you a hint on who the first guest is going to be tomorrow. Kirk can't figure it out. Anyways, from one great guest to a not so.
Maybe I have it.
Hold on. From one great guest to the next not so great guest, Fade God himself, Kirk Evans. How's it going?
Doing well. How are you?
Good. Any guesses on who it could be? Friend and Diego Pavia. There's those are the 2 hints.
Shipper or Croucher, I would guess.
Yeah, maybe it's one of those 2 guys. Maybe it's one.
I was thinking Peanut, but.
Peanut was on today.
Yeah, that wouldn't make sense. So yeah, it's probably Shipper or Croucher. That's my guess.
Should be a lot of fun. Croucher is a great guy. Anyways, let's get into. So they're both nice guys. Anyways, let's get into today's show. Before we get into things, help me make sense of I mentioned it with Peanut. Help me make sense of the Cleveland's odds to win the East, future odds, because Boston, you had them not to win. You were big on there. No. They ended up losing. They were the favorites to come out of the East. Second favorite was Cleveland. So as one would expect, Cleveland should probably, get their odds bumped a little bit to come out of the East there. Nope. Their odds have come crashing down. They're just, what are they? I think they're 19-1 right now to win the NBA championship. To win the East, they are plus 300. Rationalize this movement for me. I don't understand it.
Yeah, it was just a wildly unimpressive series from Cleveland. Unfortunately, as someone who has a lot of them to win the East, I still think they have a chance, but about as bad of a winning series as you can have. Maybe the market's a little overreacting. Maybe it was a bit of a bad matchup, but they barely squeaked by until the second half. They were down 10 last night in the first half. Against a team without like a not very good team without two of their starters. Ingram was terrible in the series, but still, like the Raptors just aren't a very good team. The closing or down the stretch lineup was like AJ Lawson, Jacoby Walters, like Murray Boyle was great. Scotty Barnes was great. RJ played really well in the series. Scotty's, I think, probably better than people realize coming into the series, but at the same time, that's just not a very good team. Like Orlando, at least they were a team that, had a very strong roster and pushed Detroit. And then Detroit ended up kind of figuring it out late. To be fair, Orlando also was missing their best player. So yeah, Detroit and Cleveland, it's just about as unconvincing of a first round win as you can have. So to me, it makes sense that these teams are getting downgraded. And then the Knicks, that was like one of the biggest wins in NBA history. Typically, if you have one of the biggest wins in NBA history, the market is going to upgrade you. So I think that's kind of where we're at. I'm not sure. I do think it's maybe a little bit of an overreaction. I think teams can change pretty dramatically series to series, but especially a team that just has not really proven themselves at all in the playoffs, playing that bad in a first round series, it makes sense to me that the market's selling them. So,
all right. It makes sense that the market is selling the Cavs. I'm getting roasted in the chat right now because I'm in a Calcutta with someone in the chat, and I took the Boston Celtics. I'm getting asked why I decided to. Was it me fading you, or was it you fading me? Like what happened with the Celtics there? I'm sure you're pretty happy right now with your Celtics nose cashing this early. Let's get into round 2. Give me your favorite series bet for the next round.
I'd probably take the Sixers as my favorite bet right now. I think, like I said, yeah. What is it on?
The Sixers to win their plus 215 to win their series.
Yeah, plus 215. Mm-hmm. I know the Knicks really clearly had a very nice, convincing win over Atlanta, but I don't think that like the structural issues with this team are completely solved yet. And Philly just was really, really good those last 3 games. And again, it's not like these guys playing above their head. It's Joel Embiid, who we've seen as a top 3 player in the world. I don't think he's that right now, but he was a lot better than expected. And I do think there's something to, Paul George was suspended for 25 games. It's a lot of strain, not on an older player's body. Joel, obviously, you don't want to have an appendectomy. Is that what? Am I saying it right? It sounds weird out of my mouth. Appendectomy. But again, no strain on those knees. He just looks way fresher than you would have expected. And you would kind of think that the cardio is going to come up. And they're shallow as anything, but they're willing to play 6 players in this game. So, they don't need to do that for a whole season. This is just for a series. And I think it's a team that could continuously be really strongly upgraded throughout this series. And it wouldn't shock me, if in game 4 or 5, the Sixers price is just a lot better than it is today. Obviously today does incorporate some rest as well, but I think the Sixers at that long odds is a good lock.
Sixers plus 215 to win their series. Would you wouldn't want to click would that make you consider clicking the plus 700 for them to win the East here, or is it just like you're worried about how you're worried about like the time frame of this team where it's like the longer it goes, the risk of injury increases, and you don't want that to happen? You're afraid of that?
Yeah, you definitely get the certainty at least now that Joel did come up probable with like a hip, but he's probable for game 1. No one else is hurt. One player gets hurt on this team, especially Joel, who's been the most injury-prone player of our generation, I would say. And they're obviously completely dead in the water. So, yeah, I prefer betting on them in a smaller time frame. But, yeah, they're going to keep getting upgraded if they win this series. So I don't hate that plus 700 either.
All right, plus 700 as well. Any bets for us in tonight's games or tomorrow's games, or is that it for you here?
You know what? I would take Minnesota at plus 12 right now. I just think Ant is going to play. I know people are kind of doubting it. I think he's going to play, and I think he's going to be mostly fine. Looked like he had a big sleeve on his knee with maybe or on his leg with maybe a small knee brace underneath. But I just typically these guys kind of come back and play fine from these bone bruises. Obviously, this is crazy early. But it's a dog. I think that the market's being a bit too cautious right now.
Yeah, minus 11.5, minus 108 is available on FanDuel market. If you're looking for the 12.5, is like a juiced minus 120. So you can pick.
Yeah, no, 12.5 doesn't really exist right now. I don't think
it's it's moved off it since then. But 11.5 for the Timberwolves is. I mean, if you think Ant's gonna play, then I think you'd like the 11.5 as well as the.
Oh yeah. Sorry, 11.5. Yeah,
you're good.
Yeah.
You're good. All right, 11.5 for the Timberwolves. Let's hope that Ant plays here.
Well, actually, if I'm taking FanDuel, just take the money line at plus 410.
All right,
because FanDuel's money line is a lot better than market, and FanDuel's spread is not quite that.
Mm-hmm. All right, plus 410, one of the better prices in market available. Company man, appreciate it, Kirk. Before you head out, any final thoughts on round one of the series? Pips came on. He said his biggest takeaway is that I don't want to say the 3-ball is dead, but we're moving towards a big meta in the NBA. Forgot what Mr. Peanut Butter says because I don't really listen to him. What's your takeaway from round one?
Yeah, I think that the NBA is just in its parity era. I know OKC's super likely to be a back-to-back favorite, but we had 27 of 28 Eastern Conference playoff games. Like of a possible 28, we had 27. So it was one of the best first rounds of all time. Mm-hmm. It was incredible to watch. And I think that the second round, especially in the East, is going to be incredible again. But yeah, I think obviously OKC or San Antonio seems to be in the driver's seat of who's going to win the title, but just an unbelievable first round playoffs in my opinion. Yeah,
all it took was for me to get on here and just say how bad the NBA is and how bad the early rounds are. And then there you go, one of the best round ones of all time. Kirk, appreciate you joining the show. Sad to see you're not going to be on Circle Back this week. Not a lot of sports book simping going on there, but I'm sure you'll be on next week. Kirk, appreciate you joining the show. We'll chat soon.
Absolutely. Later.
Great stuff there from Kirk. Follow Kirk on Twitter at Kirk Evans 0. That represents his ROI. Just kidding. He's not the fake god. We love Kirk on this show. Quickly, let's run through everything that was given out today. We got to get out of here because we got Circle Back live on the Circles Off YouTube channel in just a second. Pips like Jalen Duren double minus 125. Cleveland plus 102 to win their series. Alex liked Vegas and Anaheim total games under 5.5 plus 176. For tonight's games, he likes Anaheim and Vegas under 6.5 minus 110. But you can wait on it. You might get a better number. And then finally, Carlson over Marner for points in the series head-to-head market. Peanut Butter came on. Mitchell Robinson points plus rebounds over 12.5 minus 112. Look for alts when they become available, or points or over points over 10.5. Sorry, 9.5 points. Jesus Christ, plus 500. Wow, that was a tough one. OKC 4-0. To sweep the series, plus 120. Dom likes Vegas, minus 1.5, minus 148. And then finally, Kirk likes the Timberwolves money line, plus 410, or the 11.5. If you're betting it on FanDuel, bet the money line. And then 76ers to win their series, plus 215. That's it. That wraps up today's show. Do us a huge favor. Smash the like button. It goes along with here on the channel. If you're new to the channel as well, hit the subscribe button. If you know any friends who are looking for some Round 2 series bets. Jesus Christ. It's a tough day. Round 2 series is bets. Send them this video. Maybe they'll like it. We got another extravaganza coming on tomorrow. Tons of NBA bettors coming on. So if you were looking for some NBA action, be sure to check that out. Appreciate you guys for tuning in. Appreciate all of our guests, including Kirk, Dom, Peanut, Alex, and Pips. Appreciate Mike for keeping things clean behind the boards. Appreciate you guys for tuning in. That's it. That wraps up today's show. This has been the Monday, May 4th edition of the Hammer Daily here on the Hammer Betting Network, presented by our good friends over at FanDuel. We will see you guys right here for another extravaganza tomorrow.